The Art of Being Alone. Introduction: Redefining Solitude. The art of being alone is often misunderstood. Many people confuse solitude with loneliness, but they are completely different experiences. Solitude is a choice that empowers your mind, strengthens your emotions, and helps you understand your true self. In this video, we dive into how being alone can become your superpower. By embracing intentional solitude, you can build emotional strength, mental clarity, and personal independence. This journey isn't about isolating yourself from the world. It's about connecting deeper with yourself so you can show up better for everything and everyone around you. 2. Why being alone matters. Being alone matters because it gives your mind space to breathe. In a noisy world full of constant distractions, solitude becomes a rare luxury we often ignore. When you choose to spend time alone, you allow yourself to reset mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. It helps you learn what your heart truly desires without the influence of others. People who practice solitude develop stronger decision-making skills and a clearer sense of direction. This personal space becomes your mental workshop where ideas grow freely and self-awareness sharpens with every moment you spend with your own thoughts. 3. Discovering your inner voice. Most people never hear their inner voice because the world is too loud. When you sit alone, without noise, without distractions, your true thoughts rise to the surface. This inner voice guides your choices, warns you against mistakes, and helps you understand what truly matters. Learning to listen to this voice is the core of mastering solitude. You begin to recognize your patterns, your fears, and your dreams more clearly. Over time, this practice builds stronger self-trust. Once you trust yourself fully, you become less dependent on others' approval and more confident in your unique path. 4. Becoming emotionally independent. Emotional independence is one of the greatest gifts solitude offers. When you learn to manage your emotions without depending on others, you become stronger and more resilient. Being alone teaches you to comfort yourself, motivate yourself, and uplift yourself in difficult moments. This independence doesn't mean you reject relationships. It simply means you don't rely on anyone else to define your happiness. You develop emotional balance and self-control. Instead of seeking validation, you find completeness within your own thoughts. This shift transforms your relationships because you show up as someone whole, stable, and self-assured. 5. Building mental strength. Solitude builds mental strength in powerful ways. When you sit with your thoughts, you learn to face your fears instead of running from them. You become more capable of handling stress, solving problems, and thinking with clarity. Being alone trains your mind to be calm, focused, and disciplined. You stop being overwhelmed by emotions or influenced by external noise. Over time, this mental strength becomes your shield in life, helping you make better decisions and respond wisely to challenges. People who embrace solitude naturally develop a stronger mental foundation, able to stay steady even in tough times. 6. Learning to enjoy your own company. The art of being alone includes genuinely enjoying your own presence. Many people fear silence because they don't want to face themselves. But when you start enjoying your own company, life becomes richer and more peaceful. Spend time doing activities you love alone, reading, walking, writing, or even quietly thinking. This builds a positive connection with yourself. You learn that your worth isn't measured by how many people surround you. You feel complete even in silence. When you enjoy being alone, you stop chasing temporary people or distractions just to fill emotional emptiness. 7. Understanding the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a feeling of emptiness, while solitude is a state of empowerment. Loneliness happens when you feel disconnected even in a crowd. Solitude happens when you feel deeply connected to yourself, even in silence. Understanding this difference is essential. Solitude heals, loneliness drains. When you choose to be alone with intention, you create space for growth, reflection, and creativity. Loneliness is unplanned and painful, but solitude is deliberate and fulfilling. When you learn to transform lonely moments into purposeful solitude, you reclaim control over your emotional well-being and create strength from your quiet moments. 8. Creativity flourishes in solitude. Your mind becomes more creative when you are alone. Many of the world's greatest ideas were born in quiet moments, not in crowds. Solitude gives your brain freedom to imagine, explore, and experiment. When you disconnect from distractions, your thoughts begin to flow naturally. This opens doors to inspiration and problem solving. Whether you're a writer, thinker, artist, or dreamer, solitude becomes your creative fuel. You learn to tap into ideas that only appear when the world is silent. Being alone becomes a space where your creativity breathes freely and your imagination stretches beyond limits. 9. Building self-discipline. Solitude helps you build discipline because it eliminates external distractions. When you spend time alone, you learn to manage your schedule, set goals, and complete tasks without relying on others. You develop internal motivation, the ability to push yourself even when no one is watching. This self-discipline becomes a powerful life skill. Whether you're improving your habits, building your career, or working on personal growth, being comfortable alone increases productivity and focus. You learn to control your impulses, train your mind, and stay committed. Discipline formed in solitude becomes a long-term advantage in every area of life. 10. Healing through silence. Silence is a powerful healer. When you allow yourself quiet moments, your mind begins to process emotions you've ignored or suppressed. Solitude helps you heal from heartbreak, disappointment, stress, and confusion. Instead of escaping your feelings, you learn to face them gently. You begin to forgive yourself, understand your mistakes, and rebuild inner strength. Healing requires space, mental space, emotional space, and spiritual space. Solitude gives you all three. You learn to release pain without distractions. Over time, silence becomes a comforting friend that restores your peace and helps you rediscover emotional balance. 11. Understanding your true identity. Being alone reveals who you truly are. Without societal pressure or external influence, you begin to understand your personality, values, limits, and ambitions. Solitude shows you what genuinely matters in your life. You discover what kind of person you want to be and what kind of life you want to live. This clarity helps you make stronger decisions about relationships, career, goals, and lifestyle. You stop following trends or people blindly. Instead, you build a life based on authenticity. When you know yourself deeply, you walk through life with confidence and purpose. 12. Strengthening your boundaries. Solitude teaches you how to set healthy boundaries. When you spend time alone, you realize what drains you and what energizes you. This awareness helps you say no to things that harm your peace and yes to things that help you grow. Boundaries protect your emotional and mental space. They stop people from taking advantage of you. When you understand your own needs, you stop allowing toxic behaviors or unnecessary pressure. Solitude empowers you to protect yourself wisely. Strong boundaries create healthier relationships and a greater sense of control over your life. 13. Becoming comfortable with silence. Silence can feel uncomfortable at first, but it becomes powerful when you embrace it. In a world filled with constant noise, learning to sit quietly is like strengthening a muscle. Silence teaches patience, presence, and mindfulness. You begin to observe your thoughts without reacting to them. This quiet mental space helps reduce anxiety and increases emotional awareness. With time, silence becomes a source of inner stability. It trains you to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. When you become comfortable with silence, you gain emotional maturity and learn how to navigate life with calm confidence. 14. How solitude improves relationships. Solitude doesn't destroy relationships, it strengthens them. When you know how to be alone, you don't cling to others out of fear or insecurity. You approach relationships from a place of emotional fullness. You become a better listener, a better communicator, and a more balanced partner or friend. People enjoy being around those who have inner peace. Solitude teaches you to appreciate others without depending on them for happiness. This ensures your relationships are healthier, more respectful, and more meaningful. Alone time restores your energy, making your interactions more positive and intentional. 15. Conclusion: turning solitude into strength. The art of being alone is truly a path to inner power. Solitude helps you understand yourself, heal emotional wounds, develop discipline, and build confidence. It turns your quiet moments into sources of strength and clarity. Instead of fearing loneliness, learn to embrace purposeful, intentional solitude. When you master this art, you grow into a stronger, wiser, and more self-aware version of yourself. The world becomes easier to navigate because you've built a stable inner world. Remember, being alone is not a weakness. It is a powerful skill that transforms your life.